which I just wrote.
Hello and good morning.
Everyone. Everyone's joining.
There we go.
Morning, everybody.
We just need to be as smart as AI to get this thing come off, right?
Seeing
Yes,
a lot
it's the first test.
Hello, very many familiar phrases. Hi, friends.
True. Phil, yeah. All these smart people, I got a lot of pressure going on here. I don't know.
We have just a couple more trying to join in the waiting room.
So, thanks everyone for taking some time out of your day to meet with us. Paul and I
appreciate that.
Exciting content here.
I've been telling Justin, the last 2 weeks, I've been telling people, I feel like I'm telling them the aliens have landed, right? Sort of like that kind of importance. So it's really been fun.
Everyone's look like they're getting comfortable. Jen, do you still have some folks in the waiting room?
We have one person, they've been trying to join, so we might want to go ahead. We're recording, so it could just be that, actually they're in here. Okay. They're in here now. Great.
Good.
Paul, if you want to get us started on kind of your aha moment with AI and chat.
Right. I've been dragging contractors through technology for 40 years, right? I'm so old. I remember I had a cell phone in my car. It was a little box like a radio. So I remember telling contractors I need to use a cell phone, and they went, "No, it'll disturb my peace in the truck." And then I remember the email thing. Email is just a fad. And then I remember websites. Websites are just for kids. And so I spent my entire working career dragging, contractors through technology. And I always had this aha moment, and then it takes me 5 years to actually make it happen. But the last aha moment I just had was when I went into Chat GPT and went, "Oh my God, this is going to change everything." And my wife is totally sick of me hearing about it. So a couple quick comments. First is, we'll get this like, don't panic like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. This is going to disrupt your industry. It's going to disrupt every industry, no doubt about it. You got to figure out how it's going to disrupt the industry, and then make sure you're on top of it. And just a quick comment, you might look at AI as a super smart admin assistant that's on your desktop that works for $20 a month. I just did something literally 4 minutes ago. I'm hiring some salespeople. I said, "What are the independent contractor laws? What's the minimum wage? Can I use Upwork?" And it answered all these questions for me like in 1 second. You might look at it as maybe a GPS. So you have a car, it's a GPS for your business. You want to get from point A to point B and you're in a car. As long as the car is the right kind of car and has the right gas, you can get there if you have good directions. So you might look at Chat GPT is like a GPS to give you directions on how you want to go, where you want to go. But again, you have to have the right car and enough gas in the car. So there's some analogies to give you an idea of what Chat GPT is going to do. It's sort of going to have the same impact as a smartphone. When you think about it, smartphones have not really, you still eat out at restaurants, you still have families, you still go to work. Not a lot of us go to work, actually, you stay at home, but that's changed. So it's going to have that kind of impact on the industry. And so it's not going to change everything, but it's going to change a lot of things. Look at it like the same impact as computers or the smartphone, that kind of thing. It's going to be huge, and you just need to get on it. So, okay, Justin, you want to continue?
Absolutely. So what's exciting about Chat GPT is GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's a natural language processing model that this company, OpenAI, has developed to help us learn on unsupervised text. Basically, in English, it's an AI tool that helps you create your documentations, helps you put together any of the documents or text that you need for your company. The secret that I've found in working with ChatGPT and other chatbots and AI bots of the like is knowing the right information to put in. And if you know the right prompts to give it, it can really give you out powerful results. So that's really what I think is exciting about this GPT technology, is that you put good data in and you can get really great data back out in a short.
There's a little history. I don't know if you know or not, but it was started by Elon Musk several years ago. He funded it. It was originally funded as a nonprofit to help humanity. And then like a lot of nonprofits, it got into profit mode. It just got 10 billion from Microsoft about a week ago. Its evaluation is about 50 billion right now. And it's going to be interesting because it's totally shaken up Google. Google's now in red alert because they're freaked out. And it is changing the industry radically. But sort of the, I don't know, scary or pause thing by ChatGPT is 3 weeks ago, I said, how many languages do you speak? And it said 9, all the basic languages. I asked it yesterday and it speaks 37. So picked up whatever, 30, basically it's going to speak every language on the planet by the end of this month, probably.
Yes, the technology is expanding as we feed it more information. And as prompt engineers learn the right prompts to give it, the growth on this type of technology is designed to be exponential. Think of it as the most powerful chatbot you've ever met in your life. So how will AI disrupt the construction industry? Quite possibly, this is going to change the paradigm of construction resources. This is an entirely new medium that we have to deal with. So the real answer is that all of us, we're on the precipice of something really big, and we're not entirely sure how deep these implications will go, but we all, at least at Contractor Staffing Source, know there are some big implications on how this can help you optimize your business. I've been saying since the beginning of the year, you can do more with less. And optimization is one of the things I'm focused in with all of our clients. ChatGPT allows you to do that by taking many of the documentation and admin tasks that you would have and simplifying them. Think about the office admin work that you and your staff have to do. And if you could reduce that by 10, 20, or 50%, the empowerment that would give you to do other new stuff. So you can create a whole new model that will give you a new way of doing business more efficiently. Paul and I were on a call earlier this week, or perhaps even last week, and one of the gentlemen that we spoke with said, you know what, AI is not coming to take your job. Someone using AI is coming to take your job. And that's precisely where we are in this movement right now, is that people who know how to harness this technology and are early adopters of this technology will have a decided advantage over those who do not, or those who ignore it. So we're here to kind of excite you on that.
Also, keep in mind, everything goes through this like exponential curve, like smartphones, the internet, music, and that kind of thing. An interesting story was that I guess Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for $1 million, but they didn't want to. And Yahoo actually could have bought Google for $1 million, but they turned it down. So you know where things are going. And this exponential curve, like now we're on the top of it with cell phones, because who cares about the, whatever, iPhone, whatever it is now, 15. It's like, yeah, but it went like that for a long time. This sort of interesting part about AI is we don't know how fast and where this is going. If it's going to end up being a sentient being, is like our new best friend who's really a friend in the next 3 years, that's very possible. In fact, right now there's an argument whether it's sentient or not. They're going through that. There's this old people, they're saying robots need rights. It's getting really crazy out there. But we don't know where this is going. It's like nobody can see the top of the curve. So it's very exciting.
I read a very interesting report from Ray Kurzweil, CTO at Google, who said something like AI and GPT technologies are advancing like 500% month over month.
And what's interesting is even before I was asking how much the knowledge, but how fast is the knowledge base in the world? That's all the information that's stored in the world. How often does it double? And I actually found out it doubles every 2 hours. It's the whole information on the planet doubles every 2 hours. So those are like sort of scary statistics. And I don't know, probably double every 10 seconds within 6 months.
So let's do some fun stuff here and let's implement it. Our team's on the cutting edge, so we can really help you if you need to identify the right prompts to use. So let me open up share with you. Whoa, excuse me just a second here. Let me just open up a share of a Chat GPT screen, and I'm going to show you what Chat GPT can do for you live.
Right. I have it now on my desktop, and it's called New Chat. And every time I have a question or want to write a letter, I click on it and go there first because it's really convenient.
So we've got a few really cool things to show you here. Let me just open up my Chat GPT. So you should be able to see that now.
I'm going to convert it to light mode so it's sort of easier to read.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Let's do some fun stuff with Chat GPT. So the first thing we're going to want to do, I apologize, I've got 8,000 screens open, folks, is let's go in and ask it to write a collection. Who loves writing collection letters, right?
This is really good for writing the letters you hate to write.
Client. Late. So we've all had this situation. You had to write a collection letter to a client who's late on payment. So ChatGPT is going to go out there, it's going to identify the right language to input, and in a moment's notice, it's going to generate the text for us.
We hope.
There are an expanding user base, so there are times that I've had to put an entry in more than once.
This might be it.
Because of how quickly it has been moving. So what we'll do, quickly and easily.
I also recommend you get the version that's $20 a month because it gets stuck much less, okay? That's interesting. We had to do that before, Justin?
With this level of delay, I've not. Now, what's nice is,
Let me see what I get. This is a real-time issue here. Okay. Let me go to here.
I saved it because I was prepared for this situation. So write a collection letter to a client who's late on payment. So write me a very nice collection letter. But as we looked through it, it didn't seem friendly. So then I went, okay, focus on making it more polite and nice. And I went through and it made it very, very nice. So it made it sound more like a customer service rep had written it. Then I said, okay, make it for a residential construction firm in LA. And then it focused in on LA. So I said, okay, you're in LA. Sometimes stuff comes up, life happens, we get it. Brings back in the LA part. I said, okay, but make it more personal. The late payment is about cabinets. And each time that I'm feeding it this new information and prompting it, it's learning. And by learning, I typed in four prompts, and now I have a polite letter that is mission specific, regionally specific, and covers all of the details of the specificity of my business type. For you to get that level of detail, definitely going to take you longer than 30 seconds in most instances to get this type of documentation. Even with me having to bang the computer on the back end and watch the smoke pour out, it only took about 30 seconds for us to generate these results. So you can see how this might be beneficial to you in putting together a request to do payment. Another one that we've done quite a bit, and I like fresh, clean chats, is write the specification for taping a window. And my clients know me and typing, this is a funny thing, isn't it? With Tyvek, window tape. Modeling, oops. You do have to spell, right, for remodeling a.
Oh, I just talk to it. I can't spell it all. I just talk to it.
And
I can't type or spell.
so that makes Siri a very good friend in those situations.
Right, I basically talk to it. Then you can say like, write it in Spanish and Japanese.
Right. And its ability to pick up the text and use the transformative text part of its engine, as you can see, is extremely powerful. The user base is growing exponentially as well. So
I
there's,
think it's 33 million a week.
yep.
There's 100 million users in the first like month.
From a techie side of thing, they're buying servers faster than Google is right now. As you can see, it's had more use with Spanish than it has with Japanese, but it still is able to go in and collate the data and populate it. So it's continuing to populate data in both languages. So pretty good results in Spanish right away. Japanese, you can see it's hanging. So what I would do is I would go in and I could stop the response. I could regenerate a command and say, hey, let's try again in Japanese.
Or Vietnamese, or so I said, now it speaks 37 languages, 36 languages, pretty much every language around.
I'll just show you a couple of other scripts that I created that have helped our clients do more with less. Write a letter from a contract to an architect telling that the stairs need to be redesigned. And it put together a very nice but somewhat generic letter saying, okay, here's what we need to do. So then we said, well, make this an exterior staircase where the threshold is leaking. And it instantly came out. Hey, we figured out what's happened. Your exterior staircase, threshold staircase leak. Talks about what we need to do, how we need to move forward. Now, is this a finished product? No, this is not a finished product. But you've got 5 minutes of work to do, not 50 minutes of work to do. So the intention is that you can do more with the time you've saved, because now all of the getting started and building these documents is taken out for you. I didn't like the tone that it wrote it in. Sounded a little too Wall Streety for me. So I said, rewrite it in a more casual tone. And now it sounds like you're hanging out with Justin. Hey, how's it going? You got a problem? Need to fix it. Let's talk about it. So you can use ChatGPT and it will learn the tone that you want to communicate with the individuals with as well. As a last experiment, let me start a new chat and let me write a
shrink that down a little bit so the communications get a little shorter with any.
Justin, Gideon had a question. Have you asked it to make the script shorter?
Yes, you can ask to make the script shorter or longer. You can actually give it a word count as well.
You can also, if you wanted to write a book, it will read it like you could read a book you've written or read a book you like and say, write it like Los Miserables, or write it like whatever. And it'll write it like the style of any person you want it written in, or like write it like yourself. It picks up the style and then it knows how you want it written.
Is it able to pick up your style?
Your style. Well, I've written a book, so I just say, read this book. It'll read the book and then it'll write something, and I can say, make it 200 pages long, make it 100 pages long. I can say, write about a book on how to hire the perfect project manager, do it in Spanglish and Spanish, and make it 20 pages long. It'll do it.
That's
Done.
crazy.
So I actually saw, I'm starting to learn how to do some of the prompt and script engineering in my mood lighting time. And a prompt engineer went into ChatGPT and said, in the style of the Bible, New King James Version, write me a verse of the Bible about someone making a peanut butter jelly sandwich and putting it in the toaster oven. And what looked like it was 2 AD ancient text from some Roman priest came out about peanut butter jellies and toaster ovens. So the ability for it to adapt text to the syntax that you're looking for is supreme.
And also, you should also watch a lot. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, right? Use YouTube to learn AI. And a couple of them said, for example, compare the works of Shakespeare, Plato, and Aristotle. Compare those three. What do they have in common? What do they have different? And what do you appreciate about all three? And it wrote the whole thing. Done. So whether it's alive or not, that'd be up for debate. I was watching a video the other day, and some guy at Google basically said, this is a sentient being. We got to give it rights. And they fired it. I thought that was interesting.
Yep. That battle continues.
Right.
So, there's a lot of implications onto what this can do for your business. As far as kind of contractor staffing source, our focus is empowering our clients so that they can do more with less. And in that regard, here's how we're using ChatGPT now. We're creating HR and retention strategies for our clients. So first you come to contractor staffing source and we help you recruit people. But now our recruitment specialists and our account manager team can help you come up with the retention plans, with the strategies that you need, all the tools that you're going to need to build up a life cycle for talent management, professional development, and managing your team. In addition to that, we can create job ads. So if you have new ads, if you want to change your ads, if you want to look at what other ads might be working, I've actually written job ads before and said, I'm trying to get someone who's 45 years old with 15 years construction experience hired. Write me the job ad that this person would apply to. And I've had to go through several scripts to get there. But by the end, I'm like, look at this beautiful job ad. So this helps.
I just had a new client this morning. He said, well, I'm hiring a very new client in Hawaii. He said, well, what am I going to have to pay a project coordinator in Hawaii? And we asked him, and it said $51,000 a year, because they did research on Indeed and a bunch of hiring things and came up with the average cost of a project coordinator in Hawaii. Did it in about 4 seconds.
So this is going to help you optimize your business in ways that we're even beginning to discover now. I think in all things, leveraging your time as business owners, we've tried to do more with less. I think this is going to become increasingly essential as we move forward. Now,
Hey, Justin, there's a question.
You want to go over your thing, Justin, how you used it for us?
Absolutely. I've got something really cool. I see a few of my... Sorry,
you see the chat question? Sorry about that. I just want to make sure we touched on Tyler's question completely. And he was asking if there's a AI software that can read the plans that sync with Chat GPT to write a basic scope of work.
It will. What we've used it, what we found so far is it will not like draw the drawings, but since it's moving exponentially, I personally believe that within maybe a year, you'll be able to say, draw me a plans for a 3-bedroom house on this lot, make it Spanish style. I want to do a virtual walkthrough. And then you'll do the virtual walkthrough and say, I don't like this window. Can you change this and change that? And it'll come out with a finished set of working drawings in 10 minutes. That's about maybe a year away. But right now, it'll certainly write specifications. You can say, write Spanish specifications for, excuse me, putting a door in, Victorian remodel. It'll do that.
So
go ahead, Justin.
Different parts of the AI community are operating in different kinds of cottage industries right now. And part of this industrial revolution will be things like WALL-E. WALL-E is like a visual version of ChatGPT, and ChatGPT connecting and communicating. And when these visual tools and these textual tools begin to communicate, we will see more of those high-end things. But for now, I think what's really powerful for me as an HR professional, I can ask my ChatGPT bot, hey bot, provide me a skills and ability-based scorecard for a construction project manager. This is HR best practice on how you should be managing your project managers. So it went in and said, sure. In a moment's notice, it gave me the project planning, the communication, the construction knowledge, the leadership, problem solving, the details, the time management. And then using qualitative methodology, it said use a scale of 1 to 10. So I said, okay, correlate the above scorecard with a 1 to 10. Gave me some ratings, said top scores should be 8 to 10. Anything that's great is 8 to 10. did the exact same thing, broke it down for me. So then I asked it, well, hey, I need you to know more about HR. What are KSAOs? What are knowledge, skills, ability, and other activities? It picked up on what I was asking it. So then I said, well, okay, make the project manager scorecard based on our HR KSAOs. So now because I'm telling the scripts what to do and it's figuring it out as we go, it goes, okay, here's the knowledge. You're going to need to know some of these best practices. Here's the skills you need to have. Here's the ability. Here's the other characteristics. Now it did say, hey, the scores should change. You should put together some sort of assessment process. I said, make a scorecard using those KSAOs. Put together a very nice scorecode. I said, okay, take that scorecode we wrote and make it for an Alaire project manager in San Diego and include all of their goals. And this is where I kind of had the hair on my skin go up and I'm like, okay, this thing knows too much. This is amazing. I'm half shocked and awed. Gave me the KSAOs for knowledge and ranked them. Gave me the skills and ranked them. Gave me the abilities and ranked them. The other characteristics and ranked them. It gave me behavioral and cultural goals. And it gave me KSAO goals. So now I can work with that client and say, hey, here's how we're going to do this. I took it down and said, okay, now break that down into daily tasks and goals. And it literally gave me the whole scorecard. And I said, give me the 6-week onboarding plan to do that with. And I went, okay, here's your 6-week onboarding plan. And I said, okay, but it doesn't give me enough site knowledge. Give me more site knowledge. So you can see it went right in, gave me all of this extra knowledge. So it's extremely powerful. But what I'm finding with ChatGPT and these other technologies is that what we really need to do is we really need to give it the right scripts. When we do give it the right scripts, it can be extremely powerful. Knowing what scripts to give is something that we'd be honored to help you with throughout the process. So, thank you for listening.
Also, it will do, you can say something like, give me a kitchen model in CSI codes, and it'll write it in CSI codes. You can say, give me a spec sheet on this kind of project. As long as you give it the right information, it has access to the world's database. It's sort of scary. In fact, I watched one video, and there are also ways of jailbreaking it, which can get really weird. But it basically has all the information on all the people on the planet that's stored on the internet and everywhere. And that's its database. So it pretty much knows everything about everybody. If you can ask it what you really want it for, it will tell you. Go ahead, Skills.
For everyone on the call here, first and foremost, thank you for attending. We're excited to kind of share with you this new innovation in the industry and how we can use it. For our inactive clients and for those who haven't worked with us, we are offering an hour consultation to meet with you, talk to you about your business, and talk about how we can implement this. For our existing clients, talk to your team at CSS, and we'll help you implement it. I've put Paul's information here. Please feel free to link in, click in. We can share with you any other additional information that you might have. And I'd love to open this up for some kind of Q&A. We've still got some time left here. And if there are questions about the implications of ChatGPT, GPT technology, AI in general, I'd love to have a symposium.
And if my experience, if I had another example, the people I know that sort of get this have the oh my God feeling in their stomach, right? It's sort of fear and excitement at the same time. I asked one of my clients who's my past client, who's actually a catering company. And he has like $2 million catering company. He said, okay, let's try this. Have it design an event for me in San Francisco at this venue. Tell me about all the direct decorations they're going to give me the menu, plan the entire event. 4 seconds later, it came up with this awesome idea of Christmas, and it gave all the cool things they're going to do. It has jugglers, have this, and it was an amazing event in San Francisco. Then it wrote the menu, it wrote where to order the stuff for the menu, basically did the whole thing. And he said, well, at least it can't serve the food, right? I mean, it's like, so it is going to change the way we all do business, but it's better to be on top of it than under it.
Does
So I
any
guess-
questions, comments about GPT? Any thoughts on
Or
how?
maybe experiences that you've had using it, but I mean, I'm open to whatever.
My mind immediately goes to Gantt charts. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my mind immediately goes to Gantt charts with, the importance of just dependencies and doing project management. Have you guys played around with giving it, let's say, a bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel, any of those things, and having it produce any type of Gantt chart?
Corel, now we have 3 people on our team that I consider gurus in artificial intelligence. Justin's one, Corel is in Bolivia, he's another one. These people that have a passion about it and studied it for at least a year or 2. And then Nick. So Corel just told me that, yes, it'll do Gantt charts. So I guess it'll do Gantt charts.
It won't load it into a format, but that is yet, right? Unless you integrate it, which does require some programming, but it will, with some hang time, design a flow for you. You can input your team members, and it will also allocate, who's a stakeholder here, who's a stakeholder there, and it will give you a time frame, what tasks you can do simultaneously. In some cases, in some others, you will have to teach it, which is called fine-tuning your AI. And there's a whole application called Playground for that. But yes, we're already there.
About Playground, Corel. I mean, this is the stuff, that I don't know how to use it, but they do, and we could teach you or at least do it for you. Tell them about how the Playground works, Corel.
Well, the Playground is basically it's another format of AI. It does use the language interpretation part of the GPT to understand what's going on, but there's 2 parts of it. One is the context. So you give it a context, and then you have another window to give it an instruction. So based on the context, you give it a separate instruction, and it takes on a role. It can be something as simple as, you are a powerful mathematician. Solve this exercise. And where normally ChatGPT may even make algebra mistakes of, which math operation it does first, if you tell it is now a powerful mathematician, it will actually use the different, algebraic principles or mathematic principles in order to actually solve an algebra equation. That's just a short example, but you can also give it a more complex situation. For example, you can say, hey, I have a coworker, or I just hired somebody, they have autism, and I would like to know, how to best communicate with this person. And it will, please let me know what assessments, etc., I can use to best communicate and integrate this person into my team. And it will say, hey, take a DISC assessment, take a Briggs-Myers, and also make sure that you accommodate your own speech. You should probably take one as well. So if you're an I, it'll do all sorts of analysis based on, and correct analysis based on best practices and your situation.
So you can have it take the assessment, our assessment, it'll analyze our assessment, it'll analyze a person who has dyslexia or who has Asperger's or whatever. It'll now talk about the best way to communicate to that person. You give you suggestions on a way to build a job description or to build performance evaluation for a person who had autism in a construction company as a plumber. And it'll do all that for you. The key is we now have pretty much access to all this intelligence. This literally worldwide, it's all the intelligent matter for, database for the planet. We just have to know how to ask it the right questions. And with the Playground, you can get in, it's way beyond my pay grade, and figure out what questions to ask it, how to structure the questions. It'll do videos for you. Now you can integrate it with videos and pictures and say, write me a video on telling people about how my company project processes, includes these pictures, and the ways that it'll integrate with video and integrate with other things. Gideon.
Yeah, I was wondering, have you guys found, are there plugins for this or ways to connect it with some of the platforms that we use in our companies to have it to structure and ask it specific questions that will take into context, the specific like Gantt charts or scheduling or, any of this, is there a way to make this company specific?
There is the yes. He says yes to answer that. Right now, for example, our software people that do our applicant tracking system are working on ways where it can literally ask and answer questions for you. A lot of people are putting it in their chat, have chat bots that will answer questions and that kind of thing. As far as specific applications, Gideon, we'd happy to meet with you. I mean, how it works with Builder, Train, or Co-Construct or Procore, and how you integrate the two. This is changing literally every week because it's on an exponential curve. And what wasn't around a month ago is now around. And now that the genie's out of the bottle,
Yeah.
I was a little scared the other day. I went to click on it and it says 401 Microsoft forbidden. And I went, oh crap, they shut it down. But they didn't. I just had to get around it another way. So it's changing so fast. It was what was true 2 weeks ago is not going to be true 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A whole new industry of script engineering being formed right now. And things like what Gideon, like what you're bringing up, if a script engineer goes into the OpenAI playground or uses ChatSonic, WriteSonic tools to teach the AI, yes, we can do those things. If we just opened up an instance of ChatGPT and said, do those things, there would be certain scripts you need to do and you'd get variable results. So it's a really exciting time because it's a cool new technology. Folks like Carell and I at CSS, other technologists are on the forefront of riding this technological wave. So if you're looking for specific things, we're glad to help. We can go into the playground and kind of mess around with it and give you back some results. So any other of the technical items you have, bring to us and let's see if we can help you.
Right, it'll be fun. And also, when one person learns it, and it's funny, I introduced my software guy to it. It was surprising he didn't know about it. And since then, he's gone crazy doing modifications on our own personal ATS software, having to do all kinds of things that I didn't even know it would do, right? So, I mean, your imagination is your limit. You just have to know how to talk to it. I mean, we can now talk to computers. We can now talk to the worldwide database that'll talk back to us. We just have to know the right questions to ask. It now speaks 37 languages. It didn't speak before.
Well, and just give it a couple more weeks and that language number will continue to grow. So I think, we can definitely help you identify as it continues to evolve, what new evolutions are there. The technology is at its infancy. So things like make a Gantt chart or do an estimate or put out, my final closeout and write a letter and budget it all at the same time. It can begin to sort of do those things, but we really do need script engineers like Carell and myself or others to kind of come in and help with those. So for those high-end technical items, go to a trusted advisor and say, hey, here's this weird thing I'm trying to do. If it's just a document, and we need a document right away, a couple of scripts and you're good to go. It should help you do more with less.
Right. So as I said, we'll be happy to meet with any of you. I think where our expertise comes in is one, we have a passion for technology because I just find it fun. My wife said, my wife's so sick of hearing about this, she won't talk to me anymore. But I'm passionate, Justin's passionate, but we also been in the construction industry a long time. So we know how we're changing literally weekly on how to apply all this new cool stuff to construction and to contractors, not in residential contractors, as opposed to just how does it help you? I mean, it'll write a Valentine's letter to your wife, it'll write poetry, it'll write a play. My son said I had it write a game, I wrote the game for him. He said, didn't like the main characters, said change the main characters, change your backstory, change all the backstory. And it said, so start programming it in C+, and start programming it in C+. It's crazy out there. I wouldn't want to become a programmer, probably an attorney, anything where your job depends on you knowing something somebody else doesn't. You might want to look at that.
I am definitely moonlighting as a script engineer at night now. So it is important for us to kind of leverage this technology to highest advantage. Does anyone else have any other questions on kind of real life applicability or where the technology is now? If not, please record down, Paul's contact information. And if things come up along the way, let's stay in touch on how we can implement this for you. For the clients that I see on here, thank you for attending. And when we meet next, let's chat about how we can use it within your businesses. Really is an optimization tool. I don't think it's an easy button quite yet, but it is really a powerful optimization tool. So anybody have any questions?
There's a whole new thing that's being created called, what is it? Something engineer. Let's name that, Justin,
A prompt engineer.
prompt engineer, which is just learning how to ask AI the right questions.
I read an article in Wired magazine, and they're calling them the AI whisperers.
There we go.
For starters, I love the fact that it'll save us lots of time writing correspondence, emails, and sometimes it'll help us probably think out of the box too, something different than what we would think. And when we're tired, it'll.
Well, you can say, Michelle, you can say, Kim, you can say, write a humorous collection letter and make the client laugh, because it has a sense of humor. It can write a passionate letter and say, make the client cry, and it will do whatever you want it to do, because it has a knowledge base to do that. And the difference is we're now going from the information age to the knowledge age, right? And information is just a bunch of stuff. Knowledge is how to apply that stuff. So we made this shift in the last 3 months. It went pretty quick, actually.
Well,
Going back to the chart, I just asked it to I asked it a few questions based on a Gantt chart, and then I went specific of not just a bathroom remodel. I went to specific of a shower enclosure and start date being this coming Monday. And it built out the entire thing, steps 1 through 12, and told me when I should be done.
Here you go.
Crazy.
Awesome. And on your experience, how reliable do you find that answer the planet built for you?
Extremely. I mean, from demo to rough plumbing, rough electrical, like everything, shower pan there. I mean, there's a few of them that are off, but I'd say as far as if it was a percentage accuracy, maybe off by 5-10%.
Right. It's
Awesome.
interesting. I was talking to Ed the other day, and Ed has this, what is it? How to build trust with your client webinar. And I said, well, let's have it right. I said, write a webinar on how to build trust with your client. And it basically wrote his webinar in about a minute. It said, it must have read mine. And then I had Vicky Suter, who's doing one on how to avoid bad hires. I said, okay, write the webinar. It wrote her whole webinar in about 3 minutes. And then I said, write the 3 emails to get everybody to come. And it said it wrote those 3 emails. So it's going to change a lot of stuff. You know, also write it. One trick is you can say, write at a college level. I mean, you can do just for fun, just we got a couple minutes here. Put, write how Chat GPT works for a 5th grader. You want to put that in, Justin, just for fun?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second here.
Because it will change its knowledge base, depends on the questions you ask it.
Here we go.
So depending on who you're talking to, right?
Type of letter which shall I write, Paul?
Write how Chat GPT works and make it for a 6th grader.
Okay. You can see it chooses the linguistics of a 6th grader. It's just like talking to a friend.
Assistant, right? With the blah, blah. Now say, write how Chat GPT works for a PhD in physics.
That's more like it.
I have no clue what that means. So, So I guess, can you guys see how, and ladies can see how this can work in your business? How it's going to change things?
Yes, it looks like a valuable tool.
And watch videos on it, play with that. If you want us to help you, we'll give you an hour consultation, no cost. And just, we can talk about how to go into the playground, how to structure it to answer your specific questions on what you want it to do. Whether it's, give me a specifications on this, or the guy just said, give me an outline for how to do a project. It's huge, but like, the most recent people don't take time management, it's no time. So this is something that you need to carve out time for. We can help you. You can have somebody in your staff do it, but it's like somebody just showed you a backhoe and you're using a shovel, but you do have to read the directions, right? So it's going to change the way things are done. And it's an exciting time to be around, because what is true today is not going to be true 3 weeks from now, a month from now. It's changing so fast.
I just literally asked it, hey, Chat GPT, write me a thank you letter for everyone that's attended our presentation today. And while Paul was sharing with you, I was able to populate this data that you see on the screen. So you can see how quickly and nimbly this allows you to work. We would, again, love for you to take our information down. It's in chat. It's in that last slide that we showed. Jennifer and I will follow up with emails thanking you for attending. We'd be honored to take an hour.
All will be written by Chat GPT, is my guess.
Well, yeah, get used to it, folks. Chat GPT is writing a lot of things
You're your
moving
best
forward,
friend, right?
and we'll personalize it. So
I think the key is go, again, watch videos on YouTube. There's a lot of good ones on it. If you don't know how, we can show you that there's a way to go into the playground and make it specific to what you want to do, because, and there's also ways you can, what do you call it? You can hijack it because it gives you things that you don't even want to ask. And it was sort of scary.
that is sort of like saying, for your first diving trip, go to the Marianas Trench. So the OpenAI Playground is a place where you can do some advanced learning. Script engineers like Corel, or a fledgling engineer like myself might perhaps be able to help you on the playground, but on ChatGPT, play around, get messy, get in it, and reach out to us for some more support. We'd be honored to help you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anyone else have any final thoughts or comments on ChatGPT, or thoughts on how it might influence their business?
I would like to get, just for fun, does anybody have like that aha? I mean, like, you have that kind of feeling, you might thumbs up or something that you go, wow, this is really going to make things different. Because that was my hope out of this webinar.
I can't believe I didn't make everyone on my team watch this.
Well, actually, it's recorded. You can have them watch it, but it's gonna. I know. I was one person. I said, "Well, how? It's not going to affect the construction industry." And I went, "Dude, this is going to make. This is like saying, the computers aren't going to affect your life." What's interesting is, if you look at the cell phone, I think it's a similar kind of thing. 15 years ago, the word screen time did not even exist. Now, the average person spends, I think it's 8 hours in screen time a day. Kids maybe more. I remember I showed, this is sort of saying a lot of subject, but if you've watched Ready Player One, it talks about kids not visiting each other, like going to this place where they all get to play in this artificial reality, and they be whoever they want to be, and they can go do fun and that kind of thing. Welcome to my 12-year-old's life. He goes on in the afternoon or evening, all his friends are on, whoever they want to be, they go on. What is the one everybody uses, Justin?
Either Fortnite, or I think the new one is called Overwatch, Paul.
Fortnite. They go on there, they become who they want to be, and they're all playing in this virtual reality, doing their own thing. This is like now. This isn't like next week. And he spends, I have to beat him off the computer because he'll spend like 8 hours a day if I don't kick him off it.
I think our sons are glued to the same server, Paul.
Right, that's true. And that's the way they play together most of the time.
Yes.
Like now, this is as we exist as tonight.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Clay.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to be 80 years old here pretty soon, and I've got Parkinson's disease, and I've got 60 years of experience in the construction industry. So how can I use this software or this technology help me live longer?
I would say living long has a lot to do with purpose, Clay. So if I were you and I'd have it write a book with you, I would say, here's everything I've learned in 60 years in the construction industry. And you can just be your new copywriter, right? And you can write an awesome book that we'd all want to read about all the stuff you know in the construction industry. And you just have to, you don't have to type, just talk to it. It'll talk. And you can have a book done in like a week or two, or maybe a month, as opposed to a long time. Because
You
you
mean
just
write a book on coaching, you mean?
there you go. Write a book on coaching, write a book on what you learn in the construction industry. You know, you can ask it, what should I write a book on? And it'll add, you know, I mean, it's your new best friend as far as helping you do stuff. And it costs $20 a month.
The first thing that comes to my mind, Clay, is you have decades and decades of knowledge in the industry. And organizing that into a place that's going to be digestible for a lot of other people can be a challenge.
Yeah,
So say, give me the framework so that I can begin to download my framing knowledge. And it'll give you the framework, and then you can go in and put the technical elements that this thing might not know. Or say, tell me how
I'm gonna be here now. Justin, I'm gonna do this just because we got 5 minutes left, right? At least. So go on ChatGPT
Sure.
and
tell
go,
me.
I got it.
we're gonna say, I've been a consultant for 60 years in the construction industry. I want to write a book that will help others know what I know. And I want to do it in residential construction. My audience is going to be residential contractors. Please write an outline for a 100-page book.
You're kidding me.
Go, robot, go. Here we go, Clay.
The scary part is you can say, start writing the book, and it'll start writing the book.
Yeah, and then we could say, so getting started when writing a book is often the hardest part.
Yeah, you know how many times people have asked me to write the book?
Here you
Now,
go.
the first four paragraphs are done, and your outline on how to write it is right here.
There you go. And there's introduction.
So yeah, that's how ChatGPT can do more with less and kind of help you optimize what you do. For those of you that have worked with us or are working with us, please reach out to your recruitment specialist. Please reach out to those that you've worked with and say, hey, what does this mean to me? How can I use this? How can we integrate this?
Right. And if you also have, if you're a consultant or whatever, or and you have an audience that you want us to give this presentation to, we'd be happy to do it. Or a newer version, which will obviously change in a week, because everything's going to change in a week anyway.
So I would use,
Yeah.
I would use you guys to hold me accountable for getting this book written.
Yes, we will also hold you accountable to getting your book written.
There you go.
I will come up with an AI script saying, remind me every Monday via email. Here's my email address. Remind me to email Clay, and then we'll get it done.
And say something that's going to motivate an 80-year-old to live to be 100.
Oh, I'm going to do that on my own.
There we go. Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you
Thanks,
for your time.
everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
good
guys.
one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.